Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Bhakti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam class. So today we'll be reading from Canto 1 and chapter 1, verse 8. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So, what we're doing, do you speak English? You understand English? Who is not understanding English? Please raise your hand. It's a joke. Okay. Vedadvam somya tat sarvam.
Vedadvam somya tat sarvam.
Tadvatastad anugrahat.
Tadvatastad anugrahat.
Bruyush nikdhasya shishyasya.
Bruyush nikdhasya shishyasya.
Guravo guyam api yuta.
Guravo guyam api yuta.
Vedadvam somya tat sarvam.
Vedadvam somya tat sarvam.
Tadvatastad anugrahat.
Tadvatastad anugrahat.
Bruyush nikdhasya shishyasya.
Bruyush nikdhasya shishyasya.
Guravo guyam api yuta.
Guravo guyam api yuta.
Vetatvam somya tatsarva.
Vetatvam somya tatsarva.
Tadvatastadanugraha.
Tadvatastadanugraha.
Bruyuhu snigdhasya sisyasya.
Bruyuhu snigdhasya sisyasya.
Guravo guhyam apiyuta.
Guravo guhyam apiyuta.
Please repeat.
Vitatvam saumya tatsarvam. Tatvatastat anugrahat. Bruya snigdasya sisyasya. Guravo guhyam api uta. Jyoti Prabhu.
Tatsarvam Tadvadastanugrahat
Bruyosnigdasya sisyasya.
Bravo Guyam Api Uta.
Vitatvam samya tatsarvam.
Vetatvam saumya tatsarvam.
Tatatastat anugraha.
Tatatastat anugraha.
Bruyusnidasya sisyasya.
Bruyosnigdasya sisyasya.
Guravo guhyam apyuta.
Guravo guhyam apiyuta.
Please. At least one. Okay, no problem. Om Gyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya
Chakshurmilitam yena tasmai Shri
Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kavamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvitam Savadutam Parijana Saritam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Cha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanande Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shriyavadi Shashtagavishatarini. Hare Krishna everyone, thank you for being here. I don't have a problem with my voice today, so sorry I will not be able to give much of my full voice. And so please bless me so I can say something, especially senior devotees present in this room, and so I can say something enlightened for all of us. So we're reading from Canto 1, Chapter 1, Verse 8. We're going to do the word to word first, and then we're going to read the translation. So please repeat after me. Veda,
Veda.
You are well conversant.
You are well conversant.
Vam,
Vam.
Your honor.
Your honor.
Somya,
Somya.
one who is pure and simple.
One who is pure and simple.
Tat,
Tat.
dos.
Dos.
Sarvam,
Sarvam.
all.
All.
Tadvataha,
Tatvataha.
in fact.
In fact.
Tat,
Tat.
there.
There.
Anugrahat,
Anugrahat.
by the favor of.
By the
By the favor of.
Bruyuhu,
Bruyuhu.
will tell.
Will tell.
Snigdhasya,
Snigdhasya.
of the one who is submissive.
Of the one who is submissive.
Sishyasya,
Sishyasya.
of the disciple.
Of the disciple.
Guravaha,
Guravaha.
the spiritual master.
The spiritual master.
Guyam,
Guyam.
secret.
Secret.
Api uta,
Api Uta.
endowed with.
Endowed with.
Translation. And because you are submissive, your spiritual masters have endowed you with all the favors bestowed upon a gentle disciple. Therefore, you can tell us all that you have scientifically learned from them. Please repeat after me. And because you are submissive, your spiritual masters have endowed you with all the favors bestowed upon a gentle disciple. Therefore, you can tell us all that you have scientifically learned from them. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, the key. The secret of success in spiritual life is in satisfying the spiritual master and thereby getting his sincere blessings. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has sung in his famous 8 stanzas on the spiritual master as follows. I offer my respectful obeisances into the lotus feet of my spiritual master. Only by his satisfaction can one please the personality of Godhead, and when he is dissatisfied, there is only havoc on the path of spiritual realization. It is essential, therefore, that the disciple be very much obedient and submissive to the bona fide spiritual master. Srila Sutta Goswami fulfilled all these qualifications as a disciple, and therefore he was endowed with all favors by his learned and self-realized spiritual master, such as Srila Vyasadeva and others. The sages of Naimisharanya were confident that Srila Sutta Goswami was bona fide. Therefore, they were anxious to hear from him. End of the purport. Srila Prabhupada Ki. So here in this verse, it is emphasizing the importance of the spiritual master in one's life. And some people say in the word,
Good.
So some people say I don't need a guru or a spiritual teacher because it's already in my heart. I already have the knowledge, so it will awaken naturally. I don't need it, and so I can do it by myself. And we have the example of Srila Prabhupada in 69. So he decided. So our Srila Prabhupada is just a man sitting here. So he decided to leave India at the age of 75, and he was 69. He had only 40 rupees in his pocket, and he had also a small box of cereals. And so he got a free passage in a boat from India to America. And when he arrived in America, he went there to propagate this Krishna consciousness because he had received a great gift and he wanted to share that with others. So out of his compassion and selfless service, he went there by himself. And when he arrived there, he said that he felt like he was an alien there. Because at that point in America, the slogan was sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So, and Srila Prabhupada was very, very far from that. He tried to just live a very sadvic life, very pure life. And so we can imagine someone like him in the middle of young people who were just doing that all the time. And also the other slogan of the people who were living there at that moment when they went to America was "Don't trust anyone." So be out of any regulation, any religion, and just don't trust, be free. That was like be free. That was the slogan. And don't trust also, especially anyone who is under 30. So for Srila Prabhupada, it was a very, very difficult mission. So he said that actually when he came out from the ship, the boat, he didn't know whether to turn left or right. He didn't know what to do. He was not in good health because he had also 2 crisis attack on the boat. And we can imagine already, like, you know, when you reach 30, 35, 40, you feel your body is like kind of getting tired, you know, you're not as fit. But if we imagine like someone at the age of 75 and he arrived in America in the cold, it was like freezing cold, he never saw snow in his life before he went there. So he didn't have any strategy, he just went there like that. He was just, his only thing that he has faith. He has faith in God, he has faith in Krishna. So he just went under a tree in Tompkins Square. It's a famous square in New York City where young people go there. So he was chanting Hare Krishna. He didn't know what to do, so he just started to chant. So what happened during that moment is very interesting. Is that so you know when a ship comes normally, it stays a few days on the port, right? So that it gets cleaned up, and then it comes back, right? And the interesting thing is that there was two boys there in the same place than him. They were looking for a guru. Their name was Keith and Hammett. And so they were interested in spirituality, especially spirituality coming from India. And so they said, okay, let's just find a guru. So let's go to India. And so the funny thing is that like they took the same boat that Srila Prabhupada took to go to India to find a guru. And so they went to Himalayas, they went to many different ashrams, to holy places. And finally they said, we met so many people in India, but we didn't find any guru. So when they came back, they just came back from the boat, and then they saw Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, and he was dressing in saffron. And they said they thought that they were dreaming, they thought it was like a dream. They just saw like someone in saffron working there. And they were like, but what are you doing here? Like, who are you? And we just went to India to look for a guru. And then Srila Prabhupada said, yeah, so I'm here. And so he invited them to some programs he was doing. So yeah, and after some time they received the name of Kirtananda and Hayagriva. So they got initiated by him. And so the interesting story about that is that, you know, it's that they travel the whole India, the world, to find the guru, but actually the guru was right there, just where they were. They didn't need to go so far. And when they found the guru, then their spiritual life really begins. It is said that Brahmananda Brahmite Kona Bhagaya Vanjiva Guru Krishna Prashade Paya Bhaktilata Bija. So this is Sanskrit verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita describing the importance of spiritual master. So in this verse it is saying, according to their karma, all living entities are wandering throughout the entire universe. Some of them are being elevated to the upper planetary systems, and some are going down into the lower planetary system. Out of many millions of wandering living entities, one who is very fortunate gets an opportunity to associate with a bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. By the mercy of both Krishna and the spiritual master, such a person receives the seed of the creeper of devotional service. So, what happens actually when we meet a spiritual teacher or a guru, it's the same word, is that he plants seeds into our heart, and this seed is representing the seed of devotion. And what happened when he planted that seed is that by the association of other Vaishnavas, by hearing and chanting, it's like actually it represents the water for that seed, and then the seed sprouts. And so for the seeds to grow, also they need like a good soil, right? So this soil is represented by our lifestyle, our habits that we follow. You know, what time are you waking up? What do we do in our days? What is our association? So this is actually the soil. If the soil is bad, you know, when you plant a seed, then it cannot grow really. So if the environment is not good, we cannot really grow also. And also if there is no seed, which is, you know, this is where the plant comes from, then there is no fruits also. It's like, imagine you start to like water the earth and you're just waiting for something to come out, but we didn't plant anything. So actually when we don't have a spiritual master, then the seed of the devotion cannot be planted, right? And the sun that we find outside is also very necessary for the for the fruit to come out, or for the plant to come out. And the sun, what is it? Is the grace of Krishna. So ultimately it's by the mercy of Krishna or God that this element that the seed sprouts. So anything that we actually learn in this world is coming from someone, right? So we were to university, maybe some of you are studying. Are you studying? Are you still studying? No? Finished? What about you, Roberto? You're still studying? So yeah. So when you go to university or school, you receive some teachings from your teacher. So you need a teacher. So when you ride the bike, when we are a child, we need like someone to teach us, our parents or someone to cook. Also, to become a good cook, we need like someone who is expert cook. So because they can give us knowledge which is beyond our perception. So what happens is the spiritual master will give us this knowledge beyond our perception. So they are also able to give us a bigger vision of life. And someone can say, how do I know, right? How do I know who is my guru? Because, especially now in this time that so many people cheat each other, so many people cheated me in my life, so many people claim to be close of God, to know the truth. So who I know is the real guru after all, right? But that's also a journey that we have to take, otherwise how are we going to know? Actually, the first thing that anything you want to achieve in your life is you need to have faith. If you don't have faith, then you cannot achieve anything. So how many of you here have gone on a plane? Yeah. So, you are putting your hands into, the pilot, which you don't even know. Your life, you're putting it into a pilot. So you need a little bit faith to take that plane, at least, And so, in the same way, when we go to school, we put our faith into the teacher when we sit. And also, when we go to the supermarket, and ultimately we put our faith into the brand that made this, this cheese or whatever it is, and we eat it. That we trust that there's no poison inside, right? So, so we need faith to actually start anything in our life. So we can say that I don't want to believe in guru because I don't want to put my faith in someone, right? But we all have to put our faith in someone at some point. At every moment we put our faith actually in someone. Also when people, open the newspaper, they put their faith in the journalist, or when they vote, they put their faith in a political party. And they get disappointed anyway, as we know. And so all these examples just show that actually we are putting faith into people every moment in our life. So for spiritual path is the same. It's not different. To grow into a spiritual path, we need to put our faith into a spiritual teacher. And but if our mentality towards the spiritual teacher is always a mentality of doubt, then we cannot go very far. But it's not that we also have to have blind faith. So how can we recognize a spiritual teacher? How can we recognize a guru? A guru is described, or a spiritual teacher, is that he knows the way, he goes the way, and he can also show you the way. There's three things. So the first thing is that they have knowledge. They have knowledge because they have studied from another teacher who imparted that knowledge to them. So they are able to, their knowledge to actually clarify your doubts. And in the Bhagavad Gita, the first thing that Arjuna is saying to Krishna is that there is a verse saying, Kalpanya dasopata svabhava prichami tvam samudhashita yashreya channichitam puhitan me sisyastiham sadhivam tvam prapanam. And he's saying to Krishna that I am doubtful, I don't know what to do in my life. I don't know whether to go to left and right. I am in miserly weakness. So please show me what is the way. Please clarify my doubts. So he's taking shelter, Arjuna, and Arjuna is representing us. He's taking shelter. So this teacher is actually able to reveal you how you can actually walk that path, how you can do. So there's another verse in the Bhagavad Gita in the chapter 4 saying how we can approach a spiritual teacher, saying Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya padikshanti teganas gainas tadva darshinaha. So the first thing is described in this verse is that we have to question the guru. Ask questions. Like you have a spiritual teacher, you have a teacher at school, you have to ask him, like, you know, what's the meaning of that and I don't understand. So it's the same thing. You have to clarify your understanding of the vision of reality. And then, actually, there is a verse, a quote saying that a fool is not identified until the moment they open their mouth. So as soon as someone starts to speak, then you understand what is actually the substance of this person. So a guru is not just a philosopher, someone who's like just gonna speak the knowledge, but actually a guru is someone also who lives that knowledge. It's like it's wisdom that breathes. So it's actually someone who is actually living that knowledge that he's saying. So you actually observe him, you see he's living it or not, and who practicing in his own life. Prabhupada is our acharya because he's actually practicing what he's saying. Everything what he's saying is practicing it. So it's someone who's actually showing us by example. So yeah, the second thing is that they have genuine realization because they are living this knowledge. So they know they receive the knowledge and then they live that knowledge and then they have realization from this knowledge, right? And so the third qualification is that they have this ability to actually show you the way, how to do it, how to connect you to Krishna, how to follow you, how to guide you. And then they can empower you to do it, even though sometimes, you know, like Srila Prabhupada, when he started his movement, he sent like people to like open centers or taking care of finance or build a temple. They didn't even never studied finance or anything about construction, but because the spiritual teacher has this ability to empower people, even though they have any qualification, like materially, they just were able to do it. So there is also this empowerment coming from Guru. So, and actually all our Guru in life are important. It's like when you go to the hospital, you have a nurse and you have the doctor. Both of them are important. The doctor is going to give you the prescription, but the nurse is also important because she's going to tell you what time you have to take it, etc. Right? So in our day-to-day life, we have different people, different teachers, which are take us a little bit further into our journey and guide us and give us advices. And actually, this spiritual teacher, we call them Shiksha Gurus. And but our prominent person in the Bhakti Yoga culture is called Diksha Guru. So Diksha Guru is the one who gives initiation, and they are the one who actually help you to go really deeper in the deeper truth. So the first thing we require, so it's faith, and there is also a quote saying, African quote actually, saying, if I walk alone, if you walk alone, how far can you walk alone? If you want to walk fast, you walk alone, but if you want to walk far, walk with many. So sometimes we want to be like independent and be alone and do our thing quickly. So, you know, because if I'm with some other devotees, they're going to disturb my service. And then when I'm alone, I'm more efficient, my mind is more, but actually we cannot walk far without devotees. So even sometimes it feels like, okay, it's a little bit more difficult if I'm with people, but actually we are able to walk more further when we are together, because this movement is called the Sankirtan movement. Sankirtan means together. So we cannot do it alone. We need devotees around us. And I don't know if it's happened to you sometimes, you know, but sometimes when you live with people around you, they are able to, give you feedback about yourself, like things that you can improve. But when you are alone, no one can give you any feedback, actually. You're just alone, so you just think, oh, I'm okay. Just think that, but actually there's so many things in our heart that need to be purified. And by the association of other people around us that are like-minded people, that are spiritual people, we are able to actually become a better person. So in the chapter 4, Krishna says that if we want to walk this transcendental path, we need transcendental knowledge. And then he explained how we can get it. So he said that just learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. But then he is giving especially how to do it. The first thing is saying that you have to be humble, what is meant pranipatena. So if you go in front of a spiritual teacher or a teacher, any teacher, and you just say, I don't need your class of piano, I actually don't know how to play piano. But okay, whatever. So, the teacher will not be so eager to teach you the secrets of piano. But if you are in a very humble mood and you go in front of a spiritual teacher and you're not proud, so then he will give you that knowledge. What we should, in the state of mind that we should be, is that I know that I don't know. No, not that I know everything. Because this is not like it's not something we can approach with pride. And Krishna is also saying to not have only blind humility, because the next thing that Krishna is blind humility by saying that pariprashna. Pariprashna means ask question. So it's not like, okay, we accept the guru and we do whatever he says, point. No. Krishna is saying, ask question if you don't understand. Why do I have to do that? Arjuna, he was asking question to Krishna. Why do I have to fight? So in the same way, it's not that you have to accept everything. You also have to express your doubts, clarify your understanding, share, even if you have a difference of opinions. You share it. It's not like it's not that our spiritual life is we are sheep and we just follow everything. No, we try to understand things, and then we clarify with the guru and we try to understand his vision. And the third thing that we have to do after asking question is saying this word is sevaya, which means rendering service. So we just not take guidance, but at some point we want to give back that love, right? It's like also in relationships with friends. We want to have an exchange. It's not that we just have someone who gives, but who never gives back. So when we also appreciate that we have gratitude for him, appreciation, then we want to assist him. But how do you assist someone if you don't know what he wants? So then we ask the person, how can I serve you? How can I please you? And then, so what do we do when we want to please someone? We try to get to know the person. What does he like? How can we serve him? That's something pleasing. Like, if you invite some guests and you cook something that they're allergic of, because you didn't ask them if they were allergic, they will not be so happy. But if you ask them, what is your favorite dish? And then you cook for them, then they will be happy, right? So our relationship with the Guru, with God, is in the same way. So we actually try to do what God's like to do. And we see God here as a personality, as a person. So then we try to act, to think, and to live in a way that pleases Krishna. But ultimately, it's not like we do it and we are sad to do it. It's like actually it brings more pleasure when we do it, because because God is the roots of everything. It's like the roots of the tree. When you water the roots of the tree, then you have beautiful leaves, right? So in the same way, when we please God, then we feel pleased also, like that. And because the spiritual master represents God, then we feel the same, like that. And then, so when we please the Guru, then he opens more and more, and more he wants to give you. And it's like a dance, like, it's not like he has to show you at every step. It's like, you do one step, he do one step, and you do one step. And it's something you have to figure out also. It's not like he has to take you by your hand and just show you everything like that. So there is a verse saying that in the Bhagavad Gita, service in Krishna consciousness is, however, best practice under the able guidance of a spiritual master with a bona fide representative of Krishna, who knows the nature of the student. This is very important, who knows the nature of the student. So actually the spiritual master is not just giving us any guidance, is giving us something that is really personal to us. So sometimes, you know, we find that Srila Prabhupada wrote many letters to many of his disciples, and so what people do, they just read one letter and they say, look, Srila Prabhupada said that. But actually, he said that to that person, he didn't say that to you. And sometimes, like, devotees tend to do that. They just take, like, quotes from what Srila Prabhupada said, yeah, you have to do that because I have a letter from him. But the spiritual master is personal. So that's why we need the physical spiritual master also, because we need instruction who are personal to our life. We don't have the same path that others. The guru can say something that you can do to someone and someone else is not going to tell him. Because it's just different, we are different people. And so who knows the nature of the student and who can guide him to act in Krishna consciousness. So actually what the guru does, he takes the essence of the soul, and then he will actually give you what you have to do in this lifetime, so that he brings the flavors. Like, you know, when you cook something, you put different spices and then the flavor comes out from this dish. So this is what he does. He's taking these flavors out from you, and then it produces something very nice, and then you can also flourish in your service and in your Krishna consciousness, in your spirituality. And it says, as such, to be well versed in Krishna consciousness, one has to act firmly and obey the representative of Krishna. And one should accept the instruction of the bona fide spiritual masters as one's mission of life. What's the success of Srila Prabhupada is because he just took the instruction of his spiritual master. His spiritual master told him, go in the Western countries and preach Krishna consciousness. He didn't know, he didn't do like research for 10 years about how is America and how is Russia and how is this, like making a big plane. He was just like chanting Hare Krishna, and he went. And he just knew English, that's the main thing. So they just went there, and then it was success. Like, I mean, now if you see the Krishna consciousness movement, it's like there is temples all over the world. And that was just his secret. He just had faith in his spiritual master. And also, sometimes you can be tested in Krishna consciousness. Like he received test also because his god brothers didn't help him to do that. Like god brothers means the one who has the same spiritual master than you. And so he had to keep going by himself. And sometimes, you have, like in ISKCON, Krishna consciousness, it's not like we have to listen to everyone. It's like, we have our guru, and then we have our mentors, and then we listen to them, right? And then it's not like everyone who's saying something, we have to follow what they say. Everyone has got different levels in Krishna consciousness. So we also, when we live in a community, we also have to understand that and able to understand the level of everyone. Not understand the level, but be like accepting and try to live together. Because otherwise it becomes very difficult to live together. This morning we had the Mangalarati and we sing this prayer, right? And in this last verse of this prayer, because this first prayer that we sing, actually what we do is we're glorifying the spiritual master. It's actually a prayer of gratitude, because we remember, oh, how am I here already? Like, in this place, amazing, I'm like practicing spirituality, I received a great gift. Oh, it's because of my spiritual master. He gave me that gift. Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual master. This is because of them. So we sing this song in the morning, and we remember, wow, amazing. So, and the last verse said, Yasha prasado bhagavat prasado, Yasha prasado nagati kutopi, Tayam stuvam stasya Yasha shri sangyam, Vande guru shri charanara vindam. And the translation of this verse is, by satisfaction of the spiritual master, the supreme personality of Godhead becomes satisfied, not by satisfying ourselves. So it is saying by satisfaction of the spiritual master. Sometimes we think that it's by satisfying myself. And this is our mentality. We have this mindset, I like this, I want that. And we try to impose it in our relationship with God. Give me this, give me that, give me, I don't know, give me money, give me a wife, give me a husband. And then we're just asking, you know, and what kind of relationship is it, you know? If you just like have a friend and just ask him for things all the time, then like he's be like, you know, like, but because Krishna is God, he's very merciful, he's accepting us, even though we are like that. So it's also like that with the spiritual master. Actually, our relationship with our spiritual teacher represents our relationship also with with God, with Krishna. So in this verse, it's also saying, and by not satisfying the spiritual master, there is no chance of being promoted to the plane of Krishna consciousness. So it is very clear that actually, if we want to come, like to really, actually, we just need to ask ourselves, what is my goal? That's the thing. When when we do something in life, we need to know our goal. So when we decide to join Krishna consciousness, we need to also ask ourselves every day, what's my goal? Okay, I want to become Krishna conscious. How do I become Krishna conscious? Okay, it is said, I am singing this every morning. I have to have a spiritual master, please him, and please God. Okay, then I have to do that if I want to reach my goal. Otherwise, we can just take birth again and wander around until we come to that point one day. But at the beginning of our spiritual life, if we want to practice Krishna consciousness, we don't have to think about that straight away. The first thing we have to do is we just have to serve and associate with devotees. That's the most important thing. So associate with devotees who are able to help us advance in Krishna consciousness. Associate preferably with people who are, in the mode of goodness, who can take us to the mode of goodness. So like when we associate to people who are more advanced than us, then we advance quickly. Then when we advance, because there is different type of association with people. There is the type of association that we are giving and then we are receiving. The association when we are giving is like, okay, we associate with devotees and we are giving them our association, which means that it's helping them, but not ourselves. But we need to balance that, and then we have to associate with those who are helping us to advance, and then those who are equal on our spiritual life, friends. So actually, I was just listening by chance, like I had this verse, and then actually my spiritual master gave a class about this topic. So I was kind of like, sometimes, because Krishna is giving us these things, it's not by chance. When we sit here on the Vyasasana and we have to talk about a verse, it's also for us to develop something. And for everyone who comes to that class, it's also not for by chance. It's not by accident that everyone sit here and listen to that same class. There's nothing happens by accident actually in life. It's not by chance. Nothing is by chance. Everything is the supreme will of God. Everything, not a blade of grass is moving without the sanction, thank you, of God. So this described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So if we are here today, it's because Krishna wants to tell us something, because we have to understand something. So what he said, my spiritual master, was interesting. He said that the spiritual master is not that all the time has to tell you what to do, and it's not about also having all the time to ask, what should I do now, and what should I do now, and why should I do now. Is to actually try to understand his heart, right? So, for example, we have different books in Krishna consciousness. So Bhagavad Gita, for example, is the words of Krishna, right? So what is Krishna saying? And then the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is the activities of Krishna. What is actually Krishna doing, right? And then the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's the mind of Krishna. What is happening in Krishna's mind? So in the same way, we have to understand the Guru in the same way like that. what's happening in my guru's mind, spiritual master mind. What does he think about? Our spiritual master, our followers of Srila Prabhupada, it's very important to read the Vrilamrita because it's described the life of Srila Prabhupada. And the only thing that he's thinking of, Srila Prabhupada, is how to share this Krishna consciousness with others. The Chaitanya Charitamrita, the mind of God, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the last incarnation of God, is about how to share this Krishna consciousness with others. How can I give this Krishna consciousness to others? This is the process in our yugas, our generation. It's about how we can give this Krishna consciousness to others. How can we share this spirituality with others? It's like when you experience something so nice. I don't know, like I used to go like to pizzerias. I like to do that. I mean, here now I eat pizzas here, but yeah. And then when I found a super nice restaurant of pizza, I used to call my friend, "Hey, I just found an amazing new restaurant. Let's go." So, and you do like that naturally. So it's the same way with Krishna consciousness. Because we find something amazing, we just want to share it with others. And it's like that for everything. So, but we can do it in any way. It's not like we have to do certain activities to do that. We can do it in so many ways. Like, for example, we can share it. When we learn how to cook for Krishna, then we like cooking. Then we can inspire others to learn how to cook for Krishna, and how it becomes prasadam. If we like to dress the deities, for example, then we can also teach others how to dress deities, right? And we can also have this consciousness embracing these deities also, because when people will see them, then they will be more attracted to Krishna. Then they will want to come closer to Krishna. So in that way, everything we can do in our day-to-day life, it can be like that. Like, I'm cleaning the temple so that, like the devotees, when they come, they can bow down and they are in a clean space, and they can have a clean mind, how they can meditate. So like that. So today, it's also the appearance day of Gopal Bhatt Goswami. I've been asked to talk a little bit about that. I just do 2 minutes. So the 6 Goswamis are like, we can say that like acharyas, it's teachers, ancient teachers, which are coming. They were like the assistants of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was the last incarnation of God 500 years ago, who brought this Mahamantra, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? So they were his most intimate assistants, and they came to actually write books. So, for example, one prominent person is Rupa Goswami. He wrote one book called The Nectar of Devotion, and this book describes all how to practice devotional service. And so what we do, like, we have a calendar, and some days we have like appearance days of different gurus. So we try to also give gratitude to them and try to remember them, because they did a lot for us. So we want to remember them in such a way, so we feel inspired. So what did this Goswami is actually they built the 6 main temples in Vrindavan, which is the birthplace of Krishna, situated in India. And actually, when you go to Vrindavan in India, what we do is we go to these temples. We go to these 6 temples, and they are described. These temples are very important for us because they are the gateways of the entrance of Vrindavan. And every Goswami as historian, they are very, very beautiful. What they did is they just like renunciate their life to give themselves to their life to God, basically, and they did it all in different ways. And Gopal Bhatt Goswami, he was so in the year of 1510. He went when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was touring south of India, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was actually doing Harinam Sankirtan, what we're doing now, like we go on the streets, sing sometimes, distribute books. So he was doing the same, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but in 1510. And he went to a family, and then Gopal Bhatt Goswami was there, and then they hosted him for like 4 months, and then so at this time he was like 7 years old, and he was serving Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and so he developed like an intense love for him. And when Lord Chaitanya was about to leave, he fainted, Gopal Bhatt Goswami, and then he started to cry, tears of love. And then for him, Lord Chaitanya agreed to stay a few days more. And so during this time, Srila Gopal Bhatt Goswami had a spiritual vision when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed himself as Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that he told him that one day, Srila Gopal Bhatt Goswami, he will go to Vrindavan and meet his associate, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami. So they are actually the leaders of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We have a small book called The Six Goswami of Vrindavan. It's a very, very amazing book to read. And so when Gopal Bhatt Goswami woke up from this dream, he wanted to leave from Vrindavan straight away. But Lord Chaitanya told him, no, not now, it's not the time. He told him, stay back and serve your parents. You have to serve. So sometimes we also want to act in a whimsical way, like do things quickly and advance quickly, but you know, we also have to be a little bit sober. And so it was Ordo Goswami was very sober, even though, you know, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him an instruction, you know, they kept doing their duties, and then they went when the time was right. So, so what happened? So because every Goswami has got his deities in Vrindavan, and they have like, when you go to the temple, it's very beautiful. And actually this temple is one of the most famous temple in Vrindavan. And yes, Radharaman temple. So what happened, the story, I'll just say quickly, is that Gopal Bhatt Goswami obtained, he got 12 Sharagram Shila. So Sharagram Shila is like, we have one here just on the altar, it's Govardhan. And so he went to put them in the lake. But actually, because at that moment he didn't want to take care of them. But he wanted to, not that he didn't want to take care of them, but he wanted to put them back to their place where they belong. But what the Shilas did is that they came back into the water pot alone. They didn't want to go. And so when he tried to return them, they came back into the pot. And so he just accepted that he had to take care of them. And so one day he woke up actually, and Srila Gopal Bhatt Goswami, he found these 12 Shilas, they became a deity themselves. And it's the only self-manifested deity, actually, this deity of Krishna, which means that it was not carved by someone, it's self-manifested by himself, by itself. And so you can find it, like this temple is the most crowded one in all Vrindavan. Like it's actually a small deity, like this size, but it's so many people, and like people will bring garlands all day, and you cannot even see the deity anymore because everyone is like offering garlands, and people are pushing to like be able, because in India it's not the same mood. People really have this greed to see Krishna. They will like push, and when you go in the temple, they push themselves to see it first, like who is seeing first Krishna. Like, you know, when it's 4 o'clock there in the morning, everyone is running to the temple. Like, everyone. It's not like just everyone, like no one staying back. It's just like that. Life is like that there. Everyone is like, wants to go and see Krishna. This is like, for them it's not even a question of waking up. They don't even have to think, oh, I have to wake up for Mangalarati. It's like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, it's normal, like, it's Krishna. They don't even see like Krishna as God actually anymore. It's like, they see it like as a friend. It's part of their life. They live with Krishna. So it's very beautiful to see that in Vrindavan, how much devotion people have. Okay, sorry, I'm going to stop here because I went too far. I can take one reflection or question if you like. If someone has a question or any reflection or any correction also.
Mataji, you said about guru. Can you explain the difference between diksha and shiksha?
Mm-hmm.
And which is considered to be most important?
Yeah, I talked about it. I said so shiksha guru is spiritual teacher who are help us towards our path, like giving us advice in day-to-day life. But Diksha Guru is the main guru, which is the one who gives us initiation and who take us back to Godhead. So the most important is Diksha Guru. But then we have gurus you know, people who are advising us in our day-to-day life. But yeah, the most important is to have a Diksha Guru, initiating Guru. Okay, anything else? Thank you. Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.